Once upon a time, in a small village, in a remote part of the country, there lived a wise and respected Buddhist monk named Bodhi. He was known all over the village for his deep knowledge about the Dharma and had the ability to guide others on the path of enlightenment. The monk had spent many years in traveling across the land, teaching and spreading the teachings of Buddha. He had encountered many types of people on his journey and have learned valuable life lessons from each encounter one day. When the monk was resting under a large Bodhi tree, a young man named Tim approached him. Tim had heard a lot of things about the deep and profound knowledge of the monk, so he decided to pay a visit to the monk to get solutions of his problems he was facing in his life. Tim was very much worried about his life and true people. He was not able to find peace and happiness with the people with whom he was spending his valuable time, so he was determined to learn something that could change his life from that Buddhist monk and can seek his guide on the path to true happiness and contentment. The monk welcomed Tim with a warm smile and invited him to sit down near him after reaching. Tim told everything about the people who didn't value him and always think him a piece of trash. Tim asked the monk to tell him the way, with the aid of which he could identify the true and real people, to mitigate the inner pain of Tim. The monk started to tell him a story about which 5 types of people he has to avoid and never to befriend with in order to find peace and joy of life. The lesson begins with the following story. Once there was a young man named Ben, lived in a bustling city. Ben had many friends, and he used to enjoy every second of his life with them. He enjoyed spending time with them, engaging in various activities. However, as the time passed by, he started to notice that some of his friends were influencing him in negative ways. The first type of person that Ben realized he needed to distance himself from was the gossipers. This friend would always engage in ideal talks, spreading rumors and creating negativity. Ben found that whenever he spent time with this person, his mind became cluttered with many unnecessary and harmful thoughts. So he made a conscious and wise decision to avoid this friend and started focusing on cultivating positive relationship. This second type of person Ben decided to avoid was the critics. This friend had always something negative to say about others, constantly finding faults and criticizing his actions. Very soon Ben realized that this constant negativity was affecting his own outlook in real life. He understood the importance of surrounding himself with people who uplifted and inspired him rather than dragging him down with constant criticism. The third type of person Ben chose to distance himself from was the manipulator. This friend had a way of twisting situations to serve their own interests, often at the expense of others. Ben noticed that whenever he spent time with his friend, he would feel drained and used. Recognizing the toxic nature of this friendship, he decided to let go and prioritize his own well-being. The fourth type of person Ben realized he needed to let go was the jealous. This friend would always compare himself with others, constantly feeling inadequate and resentful of their success. Ben understood that true happiness comes from appreciating and celebrating the achievements of others. He knew that by surrounding himself with people who supported and encouraged him, he could foster a sense of contentment and gratitude. Finally, the fifth person Ben realized to get rid of was the doubters. This friend would always doubt Ben's ability in dreams, casting a shadow of uncertainty over his aspirations and ambitions. Ben recognized the importance of having friends who believed in him and his potential He realized that by surrounding himself with positive and supportive individuals, he could nurture his own self-belief and can achieve good and great things in life. As the monk finished the story, Tim sat in deep contemplation. He realized the wisdom in the monk's words and understood the importance of choosing friends wisely. He thanked the monk for his guidance and enlightenment and vowed to reflect on these 5 types of people he should stop being friends with in order to find true happiness and fulfillment in his own life. From that day onwards, Ben embarked on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. He carefully evaluated his friendships, seeking to nurture those that bring positivity and inspiration while gradually distancing himself from those that hindered his progress over time. Tim found himself surrounded by a circle of friends who shared his values and supported his aspirations together. They walked on the path of righteousness, helping uplifting one another along the way. And so, the story of the monk and Tim serves a reminder to all of us. In our own lives, we must be mindful of the types of people we surround ourselves with by letting go of the gossipers, the critics, the manipulators, the envious, and the doubters. We create some room for positive influence and cultivate an environment that brings positive and life-changing impacts on our lives. May we all find the strength to choose our friends wisely and walk on the path of true happiness and enlightenment. As Ben continued his journey of self-discovery, he became more and more attuned to the teachings of the monk. He realized that true happiness and contentment come not only from choosing the right friends, but also from cultivating positive qualities within himself inspired by the monk's wisdom. Ben sought to embody the virtues of compassion, kindness, and mindfulness. In his daily life, he completely dedicated himself to practice, meditation, and deepening his understanding of the true happiness and peace. Now he was finding himself within himself. Through these practices, Ben discovered a profound sense of inner peace and clarity one day while traveling through a neighboring village. Ben came across a beggar sitting along the roadside. The beggar was disheveled and appeared to be downtrodden. Many people passed by without a second glance at him. But Ben's compassionate heart urged him to stop and offer assistance to him. Ben approached the beggar with the warm smile and asked, "How are you? And how may I be of help to you?" The beggar looked up with surprise because he was not accustomed to such kindness. He hesitated for a moment and then said, "I have nothing but the clothes on my back. I am very hungry and have no shelter." Ben nodded and replied, "Fear not. I will do every possible effort to give you what you really need for this." Ben put out his hand into his bag and pulled out some good food for the beggar. This was the food he had packed for his journey of self-discovery. With a gentle demeanor, he handed that food to that poor beggar, who gratefully accepted it. Ben then offered the beggar his cloak to provide some warmth in the early chilly weather. The beggar was deeply moved by Ben's compassion and generosity. He said, "You have shown me kindness when no one else would. Why do you do so?" Ben smiled and replied, "In the teachings of Buddha, I have learned that true happiness comes from selflessness and compassion by helping others in need. I cultivate inner joy and create positive ripples in the world around me. The beggar's he is filled." With tears as he embraced Ben in gratitude, from that day onwards, the beggar vowed to change his ways and seek life of righteousness. And so the story of the monk and Tim serves as a timeless reminder that by choosing our friends wisely, cultivating positive qualities within ourselves, and embracing compassion and kindness, we can create a profound impact on our lives and the lives of those who are around us. May we all strive to be the best version of ourselves, walking on the path of righteousness and spreading love and wisdom wherever we go. Dear friends, I hope you like this life-changing story, and you would have learned a lot from this story. If you have learned anything from this story, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspirational videos. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Till then, take care of yourself